Welcome back everyone. The Pixel 5a just came out, so let's go ahead and compare it against the Google Pixel 3a. Now what I can tell you is that if you have the 3a, I think it is a pretty good update to the 5a if I'm going to be completely honest. But both these phones are great. I love stock Android, so that's why both these phones kind of fall in the same area. If you want to pick up either one of these phones, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can definitely see a little bit of a difference. There is an XL version of this, which I will also make a comparison about, but right now this is the standard one. The Pixel 5a has that 6.34-inch OLED display, 1080p, they're both 1080p panels, and the biggest thing about the Pixel 5a is that it does have a hole punch display. So this phone looks way more modern than a Pixel 3a, which this one has a 5.6-inch OLED display. So a little bit smaller, but it doesn't really feel that much smaller because obviously it has that, bezel design. I forgot this phone actually has that squeeze thing, which the Pixel 5a doesn't have, I guess, anymore. And that really covers it up on the outside. Another big thing, the 3a did not have any IP certification, where the Pixel 5a actually did, which was pretty cool. Now, thickness and thinness wise, you can kind of see that, the Pixel 5a I think is a little bit thicker. It's a much bigger phone for sure, but I definitely do think the Pixel 3a is a little bit thinner. They both kind of feel the same, to be completely honest. They both have that same type of I think the, Pixel 3a has that polycarbonate. The Pixel 5a I heard is like metal or aluminum, but it still kind of feels more plasticky, to be honest. Fingerprint sensors in the same area, dual camera setup on the Pixel 5a, single camera setup on the 3a, USB Type-C on the bottom, and then we also have a headphone jack up top. So that pretty much covers it up on the outside. They both feel pretty much the same, to be honest. Obviously, the Pixel 5a feels more premium and it's a little bit bigger and heavier. So definitely when it comes down to both of these, the Pixel 5a is built better and it also looks better in my opinion. But the Pixel 3a I think still is pretty okay looking. I think within next year it's going to look extremely outdated, but it still looks pretty decent right now. Now, another thing that's kind of similar between these two, like I mentioned, is software support. Now, I don't know with the Pixel 3a how much longer this phone is going to last. It could very well last, a couple more, it's probably going to last like one more year. But if Google switches up their software lifecycle, this phone may end up lasting a little bit longer than you may expect. So I think that's another cool thing that this phone actually may end up having. But there's still a lot of custom ROMs for this phone as well, so that's another pretty big advantage with this device. Now with the Pixel 5a, this phone just came out, so it's going to be supported for a much longer period of time. I don't know exactly when this phone is going to be outdated, but definitely when it comes down to both of these, the Pixel 5a is going to be the longer lasting one. So again, if you want the phone that's going to last you the longest amount of time, the Pixel 5a is definitely the better way to go, but the Pixel 3a isn't too far behind either. So that pretty much covers it up in that standpoint. Now let's go on. Another big thing is the battery life between these two. The Pixel 3a had a 3000 mAh battery. The Pixel 5a has a 4680 mAh battery, which is a massive difference between these two. You're getting almost over a 1600 mAh increase on this phone. That's crazy. On the Pixel 5a, like I mentioned, I have not charged this phone at all, and I'm still like super high. I've been doing so many comparisons, so many reviews, and this thing is still up there, which is really cool. The Pixel 3a's battery life actually wasn't that bad either, so you're really not missing out on too much on either one of these. So in terms of that, that covers it up there. Now let's go and do a little bit of a speed comparison between both these phones. Now the Pixel 3a has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 670 chipset with the Adreno 615 GPU and 4 gigs of RAM, where the Pixel 5a actually has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G chipset, Adreno 620 GPU, and 6 gigs of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster phone between both of these. Okay, there we go. All the apps should be cleared out in the background. Give me 1 second, except for this one. So let's get into it. Let's go and open up phone calls. 3, 2, 1. And the Pixel 5a I think was the faster one there. Messages 3, 2, 1. And again, Pixel 5a a little bit faster, but the 3a wasn't that far behind. Play Store 3, 2, 1. And again, Pixel 5a is faster. The 3a a little bit behind. Scrolling through, you can kind of see that overall, I think the Pixel 5a is a little bit smoother, but they both kind of have the same thing going on, to be honest. Swiping up, you can kind of see that the gesture-based design is roughly around the same, so not that big of a difference. Chrome 3, 2, 1. A little bit of a glitch on the Pixel 5a there. I don't really know why that happened, but it's still loaded up faster on that device. Camera 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same thing. I don't really think there's that big of a difference here. Swiping out of that one. As always, I have a bunch of these third-party apps. Let's get into it. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. and you can see actually almost identically the same. I thought the Pixel 5a was going to be faster, but they were actually about the same. They even though the Pixel 5 was a little bit faster, they were more similar than not. Let's go into BOFA, which I don't have here. Let's get into Snake versus Blocks. 3, 2, 1. You can see the Pixel 5a is the faster one. Pixel 3a a little bit behind here. Gonna into some gameplay. Let's see if any of them glitch up. And I don't really see them glitching up at all. But yeah, they're not gonna glitch up here. Hopping out of this one, let's get into something like Snapchat. 3, 2, 1. And Pixel 5a I think was the faster one. We do have Dune as well. Let's do that one. 3, 2, 1. Used to be one of my favorite games, and even the animations are faster on the 5a. So that's another pretty big thing to keep in mind. Now they both ended up loading them around the same, but we do have an ad here. But definitely the Pixel 5a I think was again the faster one. Let's get into something like Twitter. 3, 2, 1. And even the animations, like I mentioned, are faster on the Pixel 5a. So that's a pretty big thing to keep in mind. Let's go and do Stack, which I do not have here. Oh, I do? Nope, I don't. Let's go and do Tanky, which I also don't have here. You can do Quizlet. 3, 2, 1. And the 5a again is the faster one. 3a a little bit slower. And we can go ahead and do some of these similar ones here. Let's get into something like Photos. 3, 2, 1. And again, the 5a is definitely faster. So when it comes down to the speed comparison aspect, you're definitely going to be getting a faster phone and a smoother phone by a little bit on the 5a than the 3a. But the Pixel 3a is still a very good phone too. So in terms of that covers up the speed comparison. Now let's go and hit on the cameras. Now on the back, this is a pretty big difference. So you do have a single wide angle lens on the Pixel 3a, but you have a dual camera setup on the Pixel 5a. So the difference here is that with the Pixel 3a, you can zoom in, zoom out normally, and you can only do 4K at 30. Where the Pixel 5a actually allows you to have that ultra-wide sensor, which allows you to essentially zoom out a lot more. So it gives you that fisheye lens, which is a really cool feature on the Pixel 5a. The 3a doesn't have it. I will do a full speed comparison between these two, or a full camera comparison between these two at some point. But definitely the camera is better on the Pixel 5a. And actually, I take that back. They are exactly the same front cameras as well. I thought there was a difference. I thought this was the Pixel 5. This is the 5a, so no 1080p at 60. So you're still stuck at 1080p at 30 between both of these cameras. Is it a big deal? It's not really a big deal at all, but it can be if you're somebody who uses the front camera a lot. But definitely when it comes down to these back cameras, the Pixel 5a is the far better one in my opinion. So now we come to the end of the video. Should you go and buy a Pixel 5a, or should you go and keep or buy a Pixel 3a? Well, this is what I'll tell you. If you're like on an extreme budget and you can only afford, or if you already have a Pixel 3a, you may be better off maybe getting something and keeping a Pixel 3a. Maybe this will make the most amount of sense to you. This phone is a great phone still. It has a lot of character still. It may not be the fastest thing in the world or the smoothest thing in the world or the best looking thing, but it's still a pretty good phone overall. And I honestly haven't had too many complaints about this phone since I've had it. And I don't think a lot of people have complained about this phone either. But it is quite obvious the Pixel 5a is a better phone. And for $449, it is a pretty good price device. I mean, this thing is pretty perfect. It's almost that perfect upgrade from a Pixel 3a. I mean, you're getting a bigger display, you're getting a better camera on the back with an ultra-wide sensor, which is nice. You're getting faster speeds, better performance, longer software support, which is another big thing. Although the things like the performance, it was better. I didn't think it was that crazy to be honest, but it's still a better performing phone. I think the 3 is still good there, but you are getting that longer software support, and it really isn't that crazy more expensive than like a Pixel 3a XL was. So keep that in mind. I think the Pixel 3a is a great phone, but the Pixel 5a is a perfect upgrade in my opinion. So in terms of that covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.